Hey guys, I'm Ilana A. Mugden. I'm a published author and the OG mother of dragons. And I am coming to you today because my first novel, Dragon Speaker, was just released in America. It was released a couple years back overseas, but now it's out here, and the big difference here was that I self-published it. So one of the big hurdles I had to overcome in getting it out there finally was the creation of the ebook version. There are a lot of services out there for indie authors and established authors that will convert your files to ebook format for you, but those are all expensive. And if there's one thing indie authors don't have, it's money. Haha! So I am here to do a series of how-to videos to teach other indie authors or even established authors, if you are looking to be more hands-on with your projects, how to use InDesign and specifically how to format your own ebooks and print files. So if you don't have InDesign, it's an Adobe product. You can license it from them on their website for, I think probably for something like 20 bucks a month. So $20 beats having to pay like a $200 fee each time you want to convert one of your books to an ebook through a third-party program. So I would definitely recommend looking into Adobe, get InDesign, even if it's just for 1 month. The whole premise of these videos is to help you save money and learn new skills. So here we are in InDesign. We are going to start. Step one actually is take off the dragon gloves. We can't do this with dragon gloves. We are going to create a new document. Let's go ahead and make it a print document. Even though this is a video series geared specifically toward making an ebook, I don't recommend doing web. I think print is easier, and also it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. You can format a print-ready version of your text while at the same time making it easy to convert at the end into ebook format. So let's go with print. Here we have a menu of options for units. Let's go to something we can understand. Inches, thank you. So 8.5 by 11. Let's turn this into a standard digest format. So we will go 5.5 by 8.5. And facing pages, if you're doing this solely for ebook, you don't have to select this. If you want to do a 2-for-1 deal and make it also print ready, make sure that facing pages is selected. Let's start with 10. You can add additional pages as you go, that's no problem. Start number, that's fine. Margins, this sets your margins for every page. So this is like your master template right now. And if you don't want them all to be the same, if you want to manually put in your own numbers, just click this little link icon that will unlink them. Now you can change each one individually. And I'm going to go with 0.75 for my top and bottom margins and 0.9375 for my inner margin and 0.6875 for my outer margin. The reason that I increase the inner margin size is because when you have any book really, but especially a larger book, the crease, if you set your margin too close to the crease, your words may become illegible. So you want to make sure that readers can easily see all the words on your page. Slug, bleed, I don't know what that means, so whatever. We will just go ahead and create this. We are in business. So here's InDesign. If you are familiar with Photoshop and or Microsoft Word, InDesign is kind of like a mashup of those two programs. If you have never used it before, I know it can look intimidating, but don't worry. If I can learn it and master it, you definitely can. So here we have our pages. If you scroll through, you see all 10 of our pages that we've created. You'll have a toolbar on the left-hand side here, and your selection tool, which is the keyboard shortcut V, is basically your arrow tool. If you press and hold spacebar, you'll see that the icon changes to a little hand. And if you click and drag, that will allow you to just drag your template around, and that's every page. So it's actually, when you get really further into it, that's a useful tool to have and remember. Another keyboard shortcut is Command, or if you're using a Windows, Control minus, and that will zoom out just so that we get a larger scale sense of things. So here we are in InDesign. We want to make a book. How do we start? I will first show you the #1 most important thing that I have learned, paragraph styles. This was not explained to me. It took me a long time to understand that paragraph styles are essential to creating ebooks, and I tried to bypass this step and it did not work for me. First thing, you want to go to Windows, Styles, click Paragraph Styles, and this new little menu window thing will pop up. Here are your paragraph styles. We don't have any yet because this is a brand new document. We're going to make our own. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a little menu. Here we have the option to create a new style. So go ahead and click that, and you'll see it comes up as Paragraph Style 1. Double-click this, and it will open up an Options. We're going to start with, obviously, first page of the book. We want to see the book's title. We want to know what it is. So let's call this Book Title. That's our style name. It's based on nothing. I'm going to make it up right now. Next style, we don't care. So here we have a left-hand menu, and these are a lot of options. Only a few of them are things that you are going to have to be concerned with. So let's go to Basic Character Formats. This is where you can set the font, the style, size, leading, all of this fun stuff. So for font, let's go with let's go with the ever popular Comic Sans. It's a joke, by the way, but let's run with it. For font style, let's go with bold. Size, we want it big and bright. We want people to know. So let's go with 32. Leading, it's automatically populated based on my size, so I'll leave that alone. You can choose to do, let's do small caps, why not? Might as well do underline. This is all aesthetics. This is something you guys can decide for yourself on the day. I'm just showing you bit by bit what these things are. Advanced character formats. This is where you can manually distort it. Baseline shift, don't know what that is. Skew, that's actually like a tilt. So you see here in basic character formats, I don't have an option for italics. I guess maybe the Comic Sans family just doesn't support it here for whatever reason. But if you add a 15% skew to this, it will tilt it by 15% and give you a faux italics look. That's a little trick of the trade. Indents and spacing. Alignment, let's do center. I don't want to change any of these for right now. Tabs, don't know, don't care. Paragraph rules, we do not care about any of these. Keep options, this is important. Start paragraph. For page 1 of your book, it's not going to make that much of a difference, but for future reference, you can select on next page, and that tells InDesign when it exports this to an ebook, put the beginning of this paragraph on the next page, obviously. So you want to assign this keep option to any text box or paragraph that needs to start at the top of its own next page. You can kind of skip all of this. Hyphenation, we'll get to that later. Justification, who cares? Span columns, don't know, don't care. Blah, 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 blah. Character color, no, we don't care. Export tagging, this is important. An ebook is basically a bunch of HTML, and it's telling a web page or an app like Kindle or Nook how to interpret the coding. So we will go to this tag drop-down menu. P means paragraph, and that's your basic paragraph setting, and it tells the ebook treat this as just a regular old paragraph. H1, that means heading 1. It means that this is the most important text on the page. It's given the largest value. And obviously each successive H2 through 6 is another heading, but with successively less importance. So this is our most important one. I'm going to give this H1 because this is the book title. Class, include classes in HTML. If you're more hands-on, this might help you. I didn't do it when I exported my ebook, but you can write in here in the class book-title. It doesn't understand spaces, so if you want to separate it, separate with a dash. The rest of this is fine. We click OK. And now in our paragraph styles window, we see we have a book title one. So let's make the book title. If you press T, it's a keyboard shortcut that will bring up your type tool. You can also manually click it here in your left-hand menu. This is your type tool right there. If you click, drag, and drop, it will create a text box for you. And you see, because I have the book title paragraph style highlighted, it has assigned that paragraph style to this text box, and it auto-populated all of my paragraph style settings up here in the menu. So you'll see, actually, when you have the selection tool, you've got a vastly different menu up here. When you've got the type tool selected, it changes to a typesetting menu. So you can change the font, the style, the size, the leading, all these kind of whatever things, all this stuff here. Here's where the skew is, false italic. Here is your justification. We see that it's centered. Here you can add indents or remove them manually. But we assigned all of the styles already. So let's go ahead and just say my great book. Okay. Aha. All right. So I did a mistake already. When I press enter, you see my cursor vanishes. That's because in keep options, I just told InDesign that I want to start this paragraph style on the next page. So when I press enter, the next paragraph automatically decides it's going to start at the top of the next page, which I don't want for right now. I'm going to go double click on book title, go into my keep options, and for the sake of ease, I'm just going to say anywhere. So now when I press enter, the cursor remains. By Ilana A. Mugden. Great. Press escape, and that automatically clicks me out of the text option, and I am back with my selection tool. And now we have our book title. Page 1 of the book. This is what we've done so far. Page 2 is traditionally copyright. So let's go to the next page. I'm going to hold the spacebar down, and instead of scrolling, I just grab it because it gives me a little bit, my mouse is not so great. So I'm going to go ahead and press T again. That brings up our type tool. I am going to drag and drop and create a text box here. Now, I don't want this to be the book title. Obviously, this is a new paragraph style. So I'm going to create a new style here. I'm going to double click on paragraph style 1, and I'm going to call this copyright. Based on, I don't want to base it on anything. Well, I'll base it on basic paragraph. When you base a paragraph style on something, you can base it on a pre-existing thing, or if you are building it from scratch, just select no paragraph style. The next style, what does that mean? That means when you press enter and create a new paragraph, what is that style going to be? Is it going to be the same style? Is it going to be no style? Is it going to be something else entirely? I can do basic paragraph, or I could do no paragraph style. And you know what? I'll just do basic paragraph. I think that's going to be easier for now. And the reason being is because on keep options, I want to start this paragraph on the next page, right? Because I don't want this to be on the same page as my book title. I want it to start on its own next page. So start it on the next page, but if I start this on next page and I have this same style, right? When I press enter, it's going to be the same style. I'll show you. It's going to be copyright 2018 by me. Press enter, the cursor vanishes. It's because it's on the next page. So press delete, go back. Next style is going to be basic paragraph. And that way when we press enter, much better. But we're not done formatting this just quite yet. Basic character formats. I like Book Antiqua personally. So let's change this to Book Antiqua. Font style regular, 12. That's fine. All of this is fine. I don't care. Nobody cares. Keep options. This is fine. Export tagging. You can leave this alone. It will automatically figure it out for itself, basically. It's not that serious. So, oh, and actually when we are here, we want to, let's make this center. And yeah, okay, cool. So let's press OK. Now it's centered. And we press enter. Goes back to a basic paragraph. Let's see. Don't. Steal. It's wrong. www.elentria.com. Obviously, I haven't defined my basic paragraph yet, or I haven't made any other paragraphs that would center this. Fortunately, you have a manual override button. What we can do is we can simply go up to our top menu and center it manually. And that's all you need to do. La 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 la. Okay. Press escape. That's our copyright page done. Dedication is next, in my case. Some people do a dedication, some people don't. That's basically just the same premise of creating a paragraph style, treating it as a regular old paragraph, making sure it starts on the next page, ideally. But we're going to skip the dedication for the sake of this. What we are going to do is put a table of contents in here. But I'm not going to do that just yet. That's a future video. That's very advanced. That's like 3 or 4 videos later. So let's just leave this page blank for now. I just want to really reinforce this paragraph styles. Let's create a new paragraph style. Go down there, create new style, double click that new style, and let's call this chapter title. Based on, I don't want to base it on anything really. And next style, I suppose, no, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that because I'm going to create it in a separate text box. You'll see when I get there. Basic character formats. Let's choose another very popular text. Font. Papyrus. Very popular. Font style. Condensed. Regular. Why not? I don't know. Who cares? This is all foolishness. We'll put it a little bit smaller. We'll put it at 28. That's all fine. Small caps is fine. I don't want it underlined. Skew, I want 0. All of this information, by the way, is fed in there because it was assuming here that it was based on the book title. That's why all of this information is here. So we have to be careful that we want to go in and manually change everything back to the way we want it for a chapter title. Keep options, start paragraph on the next page because we want to make sure that they start on their own pages. Export tagging. We're going to call this, let's say H2. Sure, why not? Cool. So those are all the important options, and we're going to click OK. Press T. That will bring up your type tool. drag and drop. And now you can write chapter 1. Beautiful. So now we're going to write a book, right? This is the point. You're writing a book. You've written a book, presumably. Press T again, and let's make some text boxes for all of these pages. You'll see that because chapter title is highlighted, it will auto assign that paragraph style to all of these text boxes. We don't want that, but we're going to change it momentarily. So I'll just start with these two things. Ooh, didn't want to do that. Now I'm going to go back to selection tool. I'm going to select my boxes, and I can assign basic paragraph to them. Let's click that and see what's going on here. Let's change this again to book antiqua. I think that's the only thing I care about. Oh no, all right. Indents and spacing. When we start a new paragraph, we want to make sure that the first line is indented a little bit. So first line indent, let's add 0.3. The rest of it we can leave alone. Click OK. And let me just make sure keep options, yeah, anywhere, export tagging. This will be automatically assigned as a paragraph, but I'll put P in anyway. And OK. So now when I click T and I go in there, I see once upon a time. Beautiful, right? Now it works. There was a girl named Ivana. She thought she was good at InDesign, but in fact, she was a noob. However, she figured she might as well make a foolish video to help others. Blah, 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 blah. And they all lived happily ever after. My fingers are very stupid today, aren't they? Making a lot of typos. Cool. So then basically you can either write a book or you can copy and paste text from... Cool. I just want to like make sure that there's enough stuff there because I'm going to show you how to link text boxes now. But here we see that we probably don't want this first paragraph indented after all. Why is that? I mean, when you start a new chapter, it's traditionally actually not indented on that one. I don't know why. I didn't make the rules. I just follow them sometimes. Once you know the rules, you can break them. So you can manually go into any text box and you can assign different paragraph styles, obviously. Let's make a new paragraph style that is based on basic paragraph. Next style will be basic paragraph. And when we go to indents and spacing, let's just take that first line indent out. Press OK, and you see, because my cursor was in this paragraph, so this is the affected paragraph, it is now, oh, let's rename this to first paragraph, so we know. So now, when we're here, we see that this is first paragraph, and the rest of it is basic paragraph. And you'll see what paragraph style it is because it will be highlighted in your little window. So we're going along and we're copying and pasting, or we're writing, and you see we want to get to this next page. Do you really have to start over and start typing anew in this next page? No, you can link text boxes. So if you see this little red box in the lower right-hand corner of your current text box, it has a plus sign appeared on it. That means that you have text overflowing. And to link it to this next text box, which we've already created here, and I'm going to assign that the basic paragraph style, we will simply click this, and you can see as soon as you click it, your cursor changes, and now it's got a little line information. Bring it over here, and the cursor changes again, and it gets a little link icon. Click, and suddenly it's linked. and I'll press T and I'll say adding lines, doing lots of fun stuff, and you can see that as I type here, it's updating on the next linked page. Ha 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 ha. Cool. Dragons are cool. And I go to the end, and I can continue writing my cool book. Beautiful. All right. I press escape, I get out, and now we have our chapter 1. And that is a basic overview on how to use paragraph styles. And I'm going to end the video here because this is an important lesson to learn, and you will see when you export in the ebook why paragraph styles are important. And actually, you know what? For the sake of learning, let's export it. Test. It's already in the format. Save. Fine. Split document. Thank you. Yes. And here we go. Oh my God, get away from me. Great. So we can see we successfully assigned paragraph styles to chapter 1. It's starting on its own page. We successfully assigned a paragraph style to the title. Doesn't look very pretty, but I didn't make this video to make it pretty. And we successfully assigned this paragraph style to the copyright page. Everything is as it should be. They are all beginning on their own pages. The text is reflowable. What that means is basically you can resize this book any way you want, and it will automatically resize the text accordingly. I'm going to quit out of this, and that concludes my first video lesson. Paragraph styles, very important. Stay tuned for master templates, and hopefully you guys will find this useful in some way. Have a great night.